Okay. So again, welcome to this very important Crypto Elite session today. We felt that it was important to have a field conversation with some of the things that are evolving in this particular space. You all know that this space is constantly evolving, constantly changing, and it's our responsibility as a community to make sure that everybody's up to date with what's happening, especially if it affects anyone within our group. But before we get into that, we got a couple of events that are happening around the country in our community that we're going to talk about. I'm going to bring Nate up in a minute, but I want Nick to start off. You can share what's happening in the Florida market for us real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate Mike for even doing this. But hey, guys, how's everybody doing? Happy Monday nights. This call is going to be really, really cool. I actually canceled my builders call, our training call, to actually send everybody over to this call because there's going to be some really cool things that are going to be going on, how we can actually have access to different things. That's awesome. But what I'm actually going to come on and actually share with you guys is what we have going on the next 3 days to the next week. And I actually asked Mike to come fly down here, and do this kind of like little tour with us. And what we're actually going to be doing over the next 3 days is going to 3 different cities. And then I'm going to be following up in those couple of cities a couple of weeks after. So what we're going to be doing on tomorrow is going to be Fort Lauderdale, and then Wednesday is going to be Port St. Lucie. What we're going to be doing these next 2 days is doing advanced trading, exclusive trading with Mike Jamison. This is somebody that literally, as we know, just hit presidential ambassador. And the funny thing about it, Mike, we both know you made a lot more money trading this past month with all these different accounts you actually have going on. And just to hear from his success is so incredible. So what I encourage you guys to do is for Wednesday and Tuesday is to get there early, pick this guy's brain that literally flew down here and get all your questions answered and literally learn from somebody that's been there, done that. So this is awesome. You guys can go ahead and do that. Thursday, we are actually going to be in Orlando, launching Orlando, Florida. And now what you can actually do to this is you can actually have, guests and other people in the surrounding areas come actually meet Mike Jamison in person. Again, this is somebody that's made, quite a bit of money in this, has many, many years of experience in this. And this would be absolutely incredible to have every single one of you guys actually come meet him in person. So Thursday is going to be a opportunity presentation. And then Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be an exclusive training to only iGenius members. Now, what I want you guys to go ahead and do for Thursday and these other days is call the rest of your teammates out there. Hey, maybe I personally can't get there, but who can I actually know that would benefit off of these different things that are going on? The coolest thing about it, we actually just launched Tampa. I will be going back to Tampa after we just had a successful launch in Tampa. And we'll be doing this quite often as we'll kind of circle around back to these cities and kind of get these different cities kind of going so we can take over Florida completely in iGenius. So what I recommend you guys is definitely go ahead and doing that. Take advantage of somebody actually been there, done that, and learn from their success. I've learned so much from Mike Jamison, and I have the utmost respect for him. He gives me guidance in every way of business and in life. And this man right here is utmost respect for me. So definitely do that. So I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, appreciate that, Nick. So now we want to go real quick to my brother, Mr. Nate Garrett. I know he's got an event coming up with the leaders in Ohio real quick. Mr. Garrett, are you there?
I sure am. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear.
Absolutely, man. First of all, thank you for putting this call together. And I can't wait, Nick, by the way, to come run with you in a few weeks. But I have some unfinished business in the land. And so I'm super excited. I actually got a couple of events to announce. The first one is actually this Thursday. As we did get an opportunity to get with our master trader, the announcements that were just announced today are absolutely, I can't even express how big they really are. So I know I'm going to do a double header. I told Mr. Johnny Gaskins we're going to have 100 people on his call Thursday night. So I'm excited to do a Zoom meeting this coming up Thursday at 7, which I know for a fact will have 100 people on there. If you guys have ever seen my energy, y'all know where I'm at this week. So we're going to load up. And then from that event, obviously, we have the main event, August 23rd. I'm literally staying until the 23rd just so I can hear the amazing Mr. I'm sorry, I can't. What is his name right now? I'm the tax specialist. I'm sorry, Mr. Ronnie Lamb. We're going to have an opportunity to create a tax strategy for everybody in the Ohio market. Before I kind of got a little bit better at the industry, that's what kind of kept me in the business was learning that I was throwing $600 a month off my front porch. If you guys have ever had people who say, hey, I would love to be in the business, but that monthly fee, well, guess what? It's funny what happens when they find out the monthly fee is actually your friend. So super excited, August 23rd. If you are anywhere 6 hours, 7 hours away, you want to be there. Our last event in Cleveland was crazy. I think it was 60, almost 60 something people. So it's going to write it down. Yes, thank you. It's going to be super duper phenomenal. And I'm super excited, guys. Y'all want to load up Chicago, Michigan, anywhere in the Midwest. We want to load up. As Nick stated, we're taking areas over, truly. And so if you guys also, the people in Florida, the people in other markets, if you guys have people that are in the Midwest, anywhere in the Ohio area, connect them with me. They'll be taken good care of. And we would love to absolutely blow this event out the water in Ohio. And that is August 23rd. There already is a flyer out as well. So Mr. Jamison, I'm excited. Can't wait to hear what you share tonight. But I can feel the energy on the call with all of the people, amazing people on from all over the country. And we are going to show out absolutely in Ohio. Back to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, sir. Appreciate that. Appreciate you and Nate. You and Nick for sharing those words. So now let's get into the topic of the day. Many of you have been getting emails from Indotech, emails from the exchanges about some things that are taking place and changing in the crypto space with this particular product. So what we felt was important to do was to kind of bring the community together, really talk about what's happening, talking about how it is impacting some of us and what changes, if any, need to be made. And so I think it's important that we bring to the front of the line my good brother, who we call the market guy. For those who haven't had a chance to meet Mr. Johnny Gaskins, he's the ultimate professional when it comes to the investment space. He spent 16 years as a self-taught trader, been a part of the iGenius family now for almost 3 years, a little over 3 years, and has earned over $500,000 utilizing the services. So I can't think of a better way than to bring this gentleman up to really talk about the news that we received, the impact that it has to us, and some things that we could do moving forward. So let me do a quick sound check. Mr. Johnny Gaskins, are you there, sir?
Mic check 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear, sir. About to fade away. Take it away.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. And we get through all the technical difficulties. And so I'm going to talk about 2 good things, and then we'll get into the Crypto Elite, Endotech, those emails, because I think it's fitting that we have a number of people on the call that we walk through a couple of items, right? So Crypto Elite, Endotech, Binance.com is really what this call is about, right? Some people may have received some of those emails, and we'll be talking about that here shortly. But obviously disclaimers, right? We're talking about crypto, past performance, right? You can lose all or part of your money. And we have a really specific crypto disclaimer that really gets into the details about the different markets in crypto and how you should protect your information, hacking and wallets and things of that nature. So we like to put out these disclaimers so you know what kind of environment you're getting in. I know most of us on this call are most likely have crypto accounts, okay? Have crypto accounts. So we'll talk a little bit about Wallet Pro, CoinZoom, Earn, that was launched. So that's one of the good things. Touch on it really quick. Endow countdown. We got a countdown clock for Endow, right? Then we'll talk about Crypto Elite, Endotech, Binance, and we'll do a chat Q&A if anybody has questions. All right. So let's get right into it. The Wallet Pro CoinZoom. Now, 2 things that you can look for. There was an email sent out. We've been anticipating this launch. So you can search your email for CoinZoom Earn, okay? And that email should have came out today, okay? And what you want to do today or yesterday, and what you want to do is read that email, right? But here's the site, okay? I'm gonna pull up first of all, the email. Here's what it looks like. It says earn interest on your crypto earn. We're getting a lot of questions about that. So I just wanted to touch on it really quick so we can see what that is all about. Okay. So where is that at? Okay. So really quick, basically Earn is another account. Okay. Think about it like this. You have a trading account with CoinZoom right now. Okay. You have a spending account with CoinZoom right now. Now they're adding another account where you can earn interest, APY up to 7.5%. And if you're a VIP customer, you'll get this added bonus right around 20% APY. All right. And these numbers are annual. Okay. So you always take them and divide them by 12. All right. So that's pretty cool to be able to take the money or the crypto that you have, the money you're getting from commissions, the money that you have in a savings account, and put it in the Earn account. Okay. You do have to actually move it to the account from the trading account to the Earn account. All right. And then it'll start to earn. It's actually calculated daily. All right. The interest itself, and it's paid out monthly. All right. And then for those VIP customers, right, then we get that additional bonus paid out in Zoom tokens, which is pretty cool. All right. Now, really quick, how do you get to the information, right? So you can just simply go to the CoinZoom website, and they have a new front end site, but you click on Earn. Pretty simple, right? We're getting a lot of questions, but guess what? There's a FAQ right at the bottom. You can click on this and look at common questions that we're getting about, is it insured? Okay. Common questions about how it's calculated. All right. The redemption rules, like, can I get access to my money? And here's the answer to that. And how do I redeem the actual interest? Okay. So these questions are right on the site. Go look at them. You know, I started out with putting a little bit in there, right? And then I want to add more to that to see what it really does and compare to the bank. All right. So CoinZoom, Earn. If you're excited about that, put a 1 in the chat. I appreciate everybody being on the call. Let's get to the next topic, which is Endow. Okay, we got a countdown clock. It's 2 days and a couple of hours. Okay, 2 days and a couple of hours. All right. So here's what the countdown clock looks like, right? Less than 3 days left. Okay, or once it sells out, then it's gone. Okay, so you want to look at your email. I'm actually going to send out these here before I'm done. All right, so you can search your email for new Endow tranche, and then you'll see the details on that. But how about getting the Zoom, getting the Endow for right around $28.57 for the 3-year. And basically you can look at the price of Endow right now. Okay, so there's just like giving it away in my opinion. All right, so don't miss out. If you want to get more, this is the time, right before that 2.5 million is sold out. We have not seen it drop down to that initial $15 when we first got it offered through iGenius. All right, so this is pretty amazing. Let's get to the meat of the call. Okay, let's get to the meat of the call. Crypto Elite powered by EndoTech. Okay, so some of us may have gotten emails. I want to put this out there first, right? So if you are a person in the US with a Gemini account, with a Binance.us account, Coinbase Pro account, this does not apply to you. Okay, so you want to think about what accounts do I have, right? This only applies to those who have Binance.com accounts. Binance.com. All right. So if you do not have a Binance.com account, you are good to go. All right. Those strategies, those beta strategies are working. We've seen over 40% here in the last month. Okay. So, but for those that are international or do have Binance.com accounts, you can actually search via email for EndoTech Binance API. All right. And then that'll pull up the email for you. And this is what the email looks like. All right. And this came from Indotech. All right. They linked you to the Binance website. So in a nutshell, the US customers to be compliant, all right, legally cannot connect to Binance.com. All right. And that's just the way that it is. So what we're trying to do is inform everybody across our organization, our club, our teams, right? And let them know, hey, you want to make sure if you have a Binance.com account, you take care of that, especially if you're in the US or you have an unverified account. All right. So even if you're an international person on this call, if you still have an unverified account or a level 1 account, right, where you don't have to show your ID, then you are affected as well. All right. So this leads you to the Binance site. Okay. But it basically says they're limiting the API function to trade. And that's really what's happening. It's very easy to do. All they have to do is make sure you don't have a level 2. If you don't, then you are disconnected from trading, and Indotech cannot execute trades on your behalf. Okay. So if you have funds in those accounts, you want to make sure you start to figure out, well, what am I going to do? Do I need to withdraw those funds? Nothing's going to happen with them, but basically Indotech will not be able to execute the trades on your behalf at Binance.com. Again, it does not apply to Binance.us. It does not apply to Gemini. It does not apply to Bitfinex. It does not apply to Coinbase Pro. Those exchanges are fine. This is specifically for Binance.com. If you have an unverified account or a level 1 account, you are affected. Okay. So the other thing is there was the link itself that leads you to the Binance website. All right. And I think I have that up here. Okay. That talks about the API services. Okay. And we have until the 23rd. Okay. Today's date is the 9th. So we have until the 23rd. After that date, they will disconnect the API function. So what does that mean? Indotech won't be able to open a trade or close a trade if you have an unverified Binance.com account or a level 1 Binance.com account. It does not matter if you're a true international person and you can verify. So for those that are international, you want to get verified. All right. You want to get your account verified and you want to do the intermediate verification. All right. If you're on this call or if you know anybody on your teams that can get verified. All right. Because they will be affected if they don't verify. Basic verification will not work either. So that's the first one. All right. The next one is the withdrawal limits. All right. The withdrawal limits. Okay. So if you have an unverified account going forward, you most likely will not, well, basically you won't be able to withdraw, but right around 0.05. Okay. 0.05 BTC. And I want to show you how much that is exactly. 0.05 BTC. All right. So that's right around, I think $2,300. All right. $2,300 per day. All right. So if you have thousands of dollars in an account, you want to make sure you transfer that to a US exchange. All right. Now, if you have a level 1 account, meaning if you verified on the first level, then you'll get that 0.06, which is not much more. It's right around $2,800 right now with Binance.com. Okay. So these are the withdrawal limits. Now, I have quite a few accounts, so I've seen those withdrawal limits kind of change across the board. And they're slowly changing them. Some of them are still 2 Bitcoin. Some of the others are 0.05. All right. It's only if you have a level 1, you'll get the 0.06, which is not much additional, right? But you want to start to withdraw those funds out, okay? And I'll give you some examples on how to do that. But here's how to deposit and withdraw, because the next question is, well, how do I withdraw those funds? So, you're not going to lose the funds, okay? They're not disconnecting you from the account, all right? The only thing that's happening is you will lose the function for Indotech to execute the trade on your behalf. All right, so here's how I'm going to post out. Here's how to do instructions on how to do withdrawals. All right, if you have a futures account, you have to transfer the funds to your spot fiat account. All right, and then you can withdraw those funds to a US based exchange or an exchange of your choice. Okay. To save on fees, you can actually use Binance.us. And you can transfer USD Tether over the Binance network for $1. All right, for $1. So you don't have to pay the fee that you would charge for. But again, if you're using a Binance.us for something else, then you would have to figure out how, if you want to do that or not. Okay, if it's working for you. The last thing is, how do you connect a new account? Well, you're going to move those funds and now you want to connect a new account, right? Maybe a beta strategy, okay? Maybe a beta strategy is what you're going to do. So you can do two things. You can add it to an existing strategy, all right? Those funds that you had, and this only applies again to those that have Binance.com accounts. You can move those funds to an existing existing strategy that's running for beta with a US exchange, or you can connect a new strategy. All right, you can connect a new strategy. Okay, so Indotech makes it easy. They have it on their website. And then if you already have an account, you can log in and it'll step you through how to connect a new strategy. Okay, how to connect a new strategy. All right. And basically, here's how we look at it. All right. We most likely will have to pay another entry fee. All right. But you get that money back first before you start paying Indotech anyway. All right. So the cool thing is Indotech allows you to get that 10% back before you start paying them. All right. So I am personally setting up new accounts versus adding them to an existing account. But if you have a few accounts, I don't think it'll make that much of a difference. But I'll be starting new strategies so it gets that new date on it, and then I can kind of separate it out, if you will. So that applies to people who have multiple strategies and Binance.com. All right, and this is for compliance. This is something that, maybe at a later time, they will allow leverage in the US to trade in futures and margin. But when it comes to crypto, it's not allowed for the most part in the United States. All right. And so they're really cracking down on it. And this is their way of doing it. All right. So I believe that is what I wanted to share. I'm going to stop there to make sure I didn't miss anything or say anything wrong. I'm going to actually post this in the chat, but go ahead.
Yep, Johnny, there's a couple of questions in the chat. I'll just jump in. So we had one question that came up that says, hey, why do we have to pay 10% fee when we just transferring it for a reason? So the 10% fee obviously is directly related to Indotech. It has nothing to do with whether we're, the fact that we're transferring it to them. It's a whole new strategy, okay? So to Indotech's eyes, it's a whole new strategy that we're setting up, and you got to pay the 10% in order to get that done. Now, remember what Johnny just said, you're still going to get that back. So just imagine if you were just closing the account and you wanted to do a totally different strategy, it would really be the same thing in Indotech's eyes. So that's really why the 10% applies there. And even if you were adding it to an existing strategy, if you were going to add those same funds to an existing strategy, you would need to email Indotech saying, hey, I just added $1,000 to my, my ETH beta strategy. You're gonna have to pay 10% on that, right? So I would suggest the new strategy because you get that back. Okay, you get that back. So anyway, that answers that question. I don't know if I missed anything else. You see anything else?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're in the US and you created a Binance.com account, here's my term that I use. You are speeding on the highway. All right. So now we're getting our ticket. All right. You're getting a slap on the hand for creating an account that you weren't supposed to have to begin with. All right. So, that's really what it is. And you can't get upset at EndoTech because they told you, right? Create the beta strategies. If you're in the US, if you were riding the other strategies during this period, great. But going forward, we're strictly beta. And I did see another question, Mike. The email from EndoTech may have went out to everybody, but this is why we're having this call, because we want to clarify if you only have a Binance.us, if you only have a Gemini, if you only have a Coinbase Pro, and you do not have a Binance.com account, this does not apply to you. All right. If you do not have a Binance.com account, and this goes for anybody international. If you're international, you want to check with your local jurisdiction and get verified, because you will be affected as well if you have an unverified account or a level 1 verification without an ID and an address.
Yeah. And that's
so I'll stop there, Mike.
That's a good segue, Johnny. Two things I see here. So in terms of international, right? So you can actually, if you're an international client, you can actually use the alpha strategies with Bitfinex. Okay, you can use alpha strategies with the Bitfinex broker. Now you have to go through the process of verification. I think the first level of verification with Bitfinex, but that's not a challenge for anybody that's international. And then you can use your regular alpha strategies that are available. Okay. I see a question here that says, if you have the option to leave the funds in Binance unverified and the withdrawal be low rate. No, that's exactly what we're saying don't do that, because what happens on the 23rd is that even if you leave your funds in a Binance.com account that is unverified, then Binance, the exchange, is going to disable the API key features. So even if Indotech tried to execute a trade in your account, the communication is broken because Binance is going to disable the API key features for any unverified account that's in Binance.com. Okay. So even if you left it in there, it wouldn't work. All right. So again, recap, you can still use Alpha as an international client, okay, for the Alpha strategies, and it will work fine. Just go through your regular process of verification.
All right. And I just want to note that based on the number of accounts that I have, right, they have already started kind of reducing those limits on some of the accounts, okay, and they've added a couple of layers of things. They're slowly implementing that process where the limits will be lower. You'll still be able to withdraw, but if you have, for example, 20,000 in an account, you'll be able to withdraw, right around 2,300 per day right now, right? If your account has already been modified to the 0.05 daily withdrawal limit. All right, most of them are still about 2 Bitcoin a day, but again, your money's they're not closing your account. They're not making you verify before they give you your money, right? They're just lowering that limit so you can withdraw a 2 Bitcoin a day, okay? On unverified and level 1 verified Binance account. So you have to have an intermediate level verification to get the higher limit.
Okay. So question in the chat, what is the best way to request access to a temporary suspended account? All right, so a couple of things on this. So Johnny and I have been kind of taking notes over the last 2 months on things that we've experienced. So again, this whole space is evolving, and they're getting smarter. So they want to stay compliant. Trust me, Binance doesn't want any legal issues with any country because they're not doing things according to the letter of the law for that particular jurisdiction. So with that being said, they're trying to stay compliant and be the #1 in their space. Okay. Now, what that means is that for those people that have been creative to create exchanges like I have to admit, I was creative and I had some strategies that, as Johnny said, I was speeding on the highway. It was creative. One of the things that they started doing was they started building a relationship with the cell phone providers. So when I was creative and connecting to my alpha strategies, using my cell phone to get the two-factor authentication text message, the exchange would recognize that my cell phone service provider was US based, even though I was on my VPN on my phone. Y'all follow me? So even though my VPN, my virtual private network on my phone was in, Dubai, my cell phone service provider was in the US and they sent me a nice message, right? So anyway, they're getting smarter, okay? So we said all that to say, if you're experiencing a challenge logging into an existing account because you were like me, speeding on the highway a little bit, then first of all, don't log in on your phone, all right? Log in on your laptop or your iPad with your VPN. So therefore, you don't get that message. You won't even get to the point where you can do any transfers out because they're going to notify and see that you're in a restricted area. So you have to be on your iPad or on your laptop with your VPN to even do this process correctly, okay? So they've gotten smarter, all right? So to answer your question, Chantel, if you've already experienced a temporary restriction, you have to send an email to Binance support at binance.com, and be a little bit persistent because they're a little slow, especially if the account has already been, if you can't log in, okay? Now, if you try it with the VPN and a laptop, you should be able to get in, but if it's already locked, then you have to be persistent with your emails. It may take a little time, but they'll respond.
Right.
Back to you, Johnny.
And to be very specific, you want to tell them you want to withdraw the funds. Can they enable the withdrawal feature so you can withdraw your money? You want to withdraw the funds. Can they enable the withdrawal feature, right? And that's all you're asking them to do. And then they'll actually turn it. I've had accounts where they've turned it back on. Just that function is available to withdraw the funds. But you have to, again, be very persistent and send new emails, right, to them with the same question, and the squeaky wheel gets the attention, I guess. So there are quite a few questions. I did want to go to make sure, Mike, that we answer anything that we have not. So I'm looking through them. If you see any new ones, or if any of the leaders have any that we haven't answered, they can let us know.
Yes, so we have a question about Bitfinex. So for those that are online, Bitfinex is a broker that's available in the drop-down list when you're setting up the strategies through Indotech. So you would go through your normal process of creating a new account. And when you get to the point where it says select your exchange, instead of selecting Binance.com like you did in the past, you would select Bitfinex, okay? Now, obviously, you got to have the account set up already, okay, in order to connect your keys, but it's available in the drop-down list. Jeannie, that answers for you.
I did want to mention, Mike, that if you are considering continuing to speed on the highway, right? They're not disconnecting the account. You can obviously trade in the account and do so, but we don't really know, like, all these changes are evolving. So something else can be put in place, right? So you just want to be compliant and stop, you know what I mean? Like doing the bad thing, and just be happy with the results that you have and move to a beta strategy, which we've seen over 40% over the last month in Ethereum beta. So that is pretty amazing. The results in the Ethereum beta are very consistent. And so I'm excited about that.
Okay, so if you're wondering, what am I doing? All right, let me just be transparent. Let me just share with you, what am I doing? I just spent probably 3 hours today making sure I wasn't speeding on the highway anymore. Okay, so I decided to say, you know what? I'm okay with the 266% that the Ether Beta strategy had last year, or the 100% that the other strategies had, and so forth. So, that's my take on it. You can decide to do how you, move forward, how you choose. But compared to what we, had access to before, I'm perfectly okay with 200% on multiple accounts and so forth. So that's my position and what I'll be doing. For the international folks, man, you guys are still blessed. You're still blessed. So get in there, verify your accounts, still continue to use the additional strategies that your jurisdiction allows you to use.
Yeah, and the whole thing here is self-custody, right? So I hear a lot of different things taking place with regard to, is there a way around it? Can we, get one person to create a an account with multiple sub accounts, and then they manage it, and those are ways around what's called regulation, right? And so you don't want to get caught up in something like that. And I just definitely, again, what Mike is doing, I'm a trader, right? But I'm spending a whole lot more than 3 hours, Mike, going through mine, right? But speeding on the highway, you smack your hand. This is the ticket that we're paying right now for those that are speeding. All right. And so you definitely don't, you just want to, we do have 4 strategies. We have 4 strategies. I just want to be clear about that. In the US, we can connect to the Ethereum beta. We can connect to the Binance beta. I mean, the BTC beta. All right. We can connect to the crosspair, the Ethereum Bitcoin crosspair, and we can connect to the Binance coin beta strategy through Binance.us. If you have the basically the VIP status. All right. So VIP people that are in the US can still use the Binance coin beta strategy. All right. Just wanted to make sure we're clear about that.
Yes. So Jay asked, can you withdraw from an active account? Yes. So if you have an active account right now, which we did, and Johnny has as well, and many members on here, you want to log into that account. If it's in a trade, if the account is actually in a trade, you can just close the trade, right? Okay. You can just close the trade and do your withdrawal to your new broker. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah. And don't get caught up with you can let trades run, but remember, like as humans, sometimes people wait to the last minute. If you're trying to let a strategy run, because we know Bitcoin is still in a trade right now. But again, you can go and close out all trades, all open positions, all right, in the futures or what they call derivatives trade, and then you can transfer it from the futures account to the spot fiat account, and then you're able to withdraw those funds. All right. And we're looking at trying to do a somewhat of a power hour. We're still coordinating something like that for those who may need assistance paying their tickets. Okay, because that's what we're doing here. I'll stop there.
Yeah. So what Johnny's referring to is that some of you may be challenged, maybe you have a few more questions, maybe you need to see it in person. We're going to schedule a Zoom session where we'll block out like an hour and a half. You guys can jump on the Zoom and we can specifically kind of help you navigate through the process if you get stuck, right? We want you to try, not try sending thousands of dollars, of course, but obviously go as far as you can. And we'll do a power hour where we do a Zoom session. You guys can jump on. We'll help you connect the dots and make sure you're not getting stuck, okay? The question here says, it looks like from Jeremy Harding, if you have a Binance.us account, Jeremy, none of this applies. If your funds US account, you're perfectly okay. Even if you got an email, you're fine, right? You're fine.
Yep.
Okay.
So Binance.us, Binance.us, Gemini, Coinbase Pro, Bitfinex. This doesn't apply to those accounts. So you want to think about, where did I set up my account? Maybe you're a person who hasn't logged in a while, right? Go figure that out. And if it was a Binance.com account, usually you know if it's a Binance.com account because you have to connect to what's called VPN, okay, a virtual private network in Dubai, all right? And then you know what you have to do from there.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? I see
I have
questions
one
about
here that
specific
says,
currencies, which
I got one right before that, Johnny. So one says, when will Indotech stop executing trades for the alpha strategies? Okay, so just be clear, Indotech is not stopping the execution of trades for alpha. The Binance.com broker is going to disable that feature on August the 23rd for any unverified account. So Indotech is still going to be sending out the trade signals for all accounts that have API keys that are functioning. And have a functioning API key won't receive that, and that happens on the 23rd of August. Okay, Alex, that question, that answers for you. 23rd of August.
I think I answered this one, Mike, from about hypership strategies. We only have one hypership strategy available for those that have the countries with the restrictions and the US, which is the Binance Coin Beta strategy. All right. That will be the only one that I'm aware of that we can trade in addition to the other three beta strategies. So we actually have four strategies that we have access to in the US and the countries that are slowly, obviously, banning Binance.
Okay. All right, we got a couple more questions in the chat. All questions are great, guys. It's okay to ask them. Let's see here. Is there an option for US citizens of exchange that could use a hyper strategy? There's that's Raphael. There's no option in the US to utilize a hyper strategy legally.
No,
Okay.
Mike, that's what I'm saying. The hypership, one of the hyperships is the Binance coin. That's the only one. Actually, I can show
the
that.
BNB. The BNB
That's
strategy.
the BNB, yes. Right? The BNB. Sounds like Airbnb.
Take that back. So,
yeah, so it's only one, right? I mean, I can show that really quick. So there's only one strategy that's available for that. And you know, if you go through this process, you'll actually see, if you can see my screen, when you select the Binance Beta, right? This is the private club strategy. The person that asks, you see Binance.us listed here, right? So that means you can use Binance.us. Now it's only available if you have 3 strategies connected, then you get access to the private club. This strategy did, I believe, right around 500 to 1,000% the first half of this year. I'm just throwing that out there. Past performance, not guaranteed, but this strategy did pretty amazing for the first half of this year. Okay, but it is a beta strategy and it is available only at Binance.us and Binance.com. All right. Somebody asked, how do they exit the trade? I think, how do they actually close the position? That's something that we probably are going to have to do a live session for, and then we can kind of walk through that. But it's not very hard. You would go to the derivatives section or the futures section, the trading platform inside Binance.com, and then you go close all positions, okay? And then you can transfer 100% of the funds out from your futures account to your spot fiat wallet. I know all this, we're throwing a lot at you, is why we're going to follow up with some power hour sessions for people to have questions.
So here's a really good question, Johnny. Maybe we got time for two more questions after this, and then we'll do another power hour session. But it says, if someone already has a Binance.us account running an existing strategy, is it possible to get another US account to run the BNB strategy?
No. You can call your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your friend, your mama, your
Child,
papa,
your children,
right? But in the US, they only allow pretty much one verified account. Actually, Binance.com is allowing one verified account as well, but they're going to add that sub account feature. I think they can request it for those international people as well.
So if I was in that position, Ro, what I would do is the existing strategy that's running on your Binance.us account can run in Gemini, and Gemini can have sub accounts. So maybe at the time where you're ready to profit share for that account, you can move that over to a Gemini account because you need to be in the Binance.us in order to use the BNB strategy. That's the only place it can run. So if you want the BNB, you got to be in Binance.us. So I would move the other one if I was in your position, if you didn't have a child or something that you could use, have them set up the account. All right.
Yeah. So I see real specific questions, Mike, about, I think those are very country or island specific.
Okay.
There are some islands and countries that are very restrictive on crypto. And so I don't know that whatever they're telling you as far as Binance are the instructions. Essentially, you can't veer from that based on your country. And I think that may be the Bahamas. The question about Doge versus Sheep coin, being able to withdraw that. Okay. And again, we're going to have live sessions because you may have the Binance coin, you may have other coins, you may have different, you need to consolidate things, and I can walk through some of those examples with you.
All right, one more, second to last question. The minimum amount you can deposit into a BNB strategy is $1,000 USD. All right.
Yep.
One more. You got one more in there, Johnny, that you see?
No, you cannot use Gemini. Gemini for the BNB strategy. BNB equals Binance coin. Okay, BNB is the symbol, the ticker symbol, if you will, for Binance's coin. They only it depends on what exchange, but Gemini does not trade the Binance coin, so we can only use Binance.us or Binance.com when it comes to that strategy with Indotech.
All right. So here's what I want to encourage everybody to do. Figure out where you are in terms of your strategies that need to be moved over and set up, and then write down any challenges that you may have. So when we schedule the power hour, we can just go right through helping each team member get done what they need to get done in an orderly fashion. Okay. It will be obviously before the 23rd. We'll try to do 2 sessions, but before then, maybe one this week and one next week, to give us an opportunity to get, to help out as many people as possible that may be having challenges. Okay. But just figure out where you are. Like, you should know if you got 1 alpha strategy or 5 that need to be, converted or whatever the case may be. So have that stuff already laid out, your login credentials and all those things in order. So I don't have anything else, Johnny. If you got anything else,
and Mike, I just want to say, everybody breathe, right? These strategies are amazing. The betas are amazing, right? If you were set up on another one, it's okay, right? Crypto is changing all the time. We're not, these strategies do amazing. You still have access to your funds. If you want to know what strategies you are running, just come to connected strategies under your Binance account. As you can see, you know, it takes me probably a day or two to go through my strategies. Okay. But you'll see the strategies listed here, and it'll actually say Binance futures next to it. All right. So if it says that, then basically you need to move those funds to a US based account. Now, I have a landing pad account, is what I call it, a landing pad account. Okay. Where I'm moving all the funds to. You can kind of have that same mindset if you have over 3 or 4 or 5 different accounts. And then you can move those funds to one account and then regroup and, you know, breathe, right? Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. And then figure out where you're going to land from there. Okay. And I'm done. I think this was a great call.
I got one more closing comment,
Go
Johnny.
ahead.
Just for clarity, okay? So let's assume and I'm speed on the highway anymore. I've gotten my warning ticket and I'm moving stuff over to beta, right? So let's say I've got an account that I've made $10,000 in or $1,000 in, and it's not up for profit share yet. So maybe it's 30 days into the process, or maybe it's 60 days into the process, and I've taken that money out and I moved it to another strategy in Gemini, let's say. But I made $1,000. Well, at the 90-day mark, Indotech still is going to send me an email saying, "Hey, Mike, remember that strategy you had? We made you $1,000 on that, buddy. You owe us $200, right? Or Mike, we made you $10,000 on that, buddy. Before you close it out, you keep the 8,000, send us 2,000, right? So you still will profit share on the accounts that you closed out if that account made profits. Please, let's be clear on that. If you made profits on the account, even though you close it out, you will still get a profit share email at the 90 day. Only fair. Trust that. All right.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, stay tuned for the Power Hour. We're going to get our calendars synced up so we can get everybody rocking and rolling. No worries. We're going to make sure you're very well taken care of and everything is good to go. All right. Thanks a lot, Johnny. Thanks, leaders. Talk to you later.
Y'all the goats. Y'all the goats.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you.
Great job.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you so much.